Right, back in Hemel Hempstead for a few days. This Chiltern's paradise. And
under a pale grey sky.
yes, there's NGK Spark Plugs UK Limited.
This is a nice building.
Yeah, the Parker building. What do they make pens in there, or what is it? It's probably different Parker. Parker Hannifin.
There used to be a Schaefer pen company up here, didn't there? At one point?
You can imagine all the people sitting around putting the little refills in and the springs.
And the little arrows on.
Yes. Putting the arrows on engraving the arrows by hand
Now
onto the metal
coming up
bits.
to the Continental Cosmopolitan.
Is this going to be the?
Cafe.
This is the Cosmopolitan Hub now, is it?
Mail's
That they
Cafe,
called it.
see?
This is it.
That's it. That's it. There you are.
They put
Sandwich bar.
That's right. Ah, it's amazing. They've put tables outside.
Yeah.
There's an aluminium one as well. That's state of the art.
Say we don't keep up with the Continentals, do we?
Yeah. Scruff? That's a nice name for a company, isn't it? Scruff. It's probably named after that guy there in the t-shirt. Crossing the road there. He's going into it, yeah. I think he knows where he's headed.
Well, this is a nice kettle of fish here, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is. We're starting to move now. The bus is going everywhere. You can't pass anything on it.
Well, that's because it's so cosmopolitan, you see.
That's right, it's the Cosmopolitan Hub. So what was the name of that guy then with his expense claim of his morning suit?
Zammit, his name is.
What?
Zammit.
Zammit?
Yeah, like damn it, except with a Z.
Zammit, okay.
He makes about 100,000 quid a year.
Right.
Salary.
Are you trying to get your father sued here?
Well, no, I mean, either he did, if he, we're not making any value judgments. I actually a minute ago said that it was, in my opinion, his morning suit was perfectly legitimate expenditure and that things have actually gone too much the other way, but
He's going to put this on the internet, you know that.
I always put them on the internet. I haven't said anything bad about Mr Zammit, that's fair enough. It's a matter of already reported fact
well,
if he
you
didn't.
shouldn't put anybody's personal names.
He's a public figure.
It wasn't personal, it was all in all the
He's a
papers.
public figure. It's perfectly valid comment.
The national papers. You mind the local ones. It's common knowledge. Public knowledge, isn't it?
And it's also fairly obvious that if his name is Zammit, that it rhymes with damn it. It's not saying that there's... that's just a statement of the obvious, isn't it? I mean, that's not saying that there's anything like damnable about the chap.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Happy to go, yes.
Don't worry about getting sued.
Oh, that's the size of that.
If they sued everybody on YouTube, they'd have so much work to do, there wouldn't even be a recession.
So there's still no sign of you getting your money then?
My money? No.
What
Well, then I haven't really...
solicitors doing?
well, I haven't really instructed them properly yet. I've given him a chance.
You give them too many chances.
I have given him too many chances. I've given him too many chances. But it's all finished now because he's gone off to Bulgaria on a holiday and I can't afford more than a couple of days holiday. And I just think it's charming, really. It's all on my expense.
Your old telephone wasn't working when I tried to ring you at the airport. And I don't know where I put the number down that you only ended
What, the
getting.
new well,
the old one.
the new number, well, but I don't want to give my number on film, so I won't give the new number on film. I'll turn it off and give you the new number and tell you a good way of remembering it. You wanted a film of this, so you're going to get one. Sofa. Do you want to do your Michael Jackson impersonation for the camera?
Yeah.
And the noises.
Ah! It is the dead just from. So.
Don't lose that in the pond. It's very dirty down there. Anyway, there's a geese. One goose, one duck. The swans went down there already. No, you'll drop it in the river. I know you. I know you. You'll drop the camera into the river. This is the water gardens of Hemel Hempstead, by the way, if you're wondering where we are. I think I've filmed this a couple of times before. Alright, so actually I think I've got the whole range here. That's the early, they're going through the transformation right now. That's still a juvenile. Here still feeding on the pests on this lovely hazelnut leaf. That's still a baby one. Then the next one along was this one, wasn't it? That was... Am I getting it? That was the next one, stage along. And then the next level of maturity, I think, was over here, at that stage. And then nearly a fully fledged ladybird is over here. But, and this is a big but, those ladybirds are not our European ones by the looks of things. They appear to be stages in the production of that Asiatic one that's new over here in Europe now. Oh, Sophie,
Yeah?
I told you about the hazelnuts. Here's the fruit.
Where?
I couldn't say it before, but they're not ready yet,
Right.
yeah? But there'll be hazelnuts later.
Yes.
And if you buy a topic, you'll get a hazelnut in every bite. What's got a hazelnut in every bite? Topic. Thick milk chocolate for your delight. Topic. Do you remember that? I don't know if they still sell them, but I still remember the advert. Pretty. Quite big grasses next to the... And they've still got that nice children's play area over there that used to... Black Hills, the Black Hills of Dakota. Right. They used to play in this playground when you were a little kid. Mummy used to bring you here in the pram, you know. You used to come here an awful lot. When you were a little kid, Mum used to take you down here a lot in that one. But you were just in the pram, really. Well, that's not the way. You'll waste time that way. Grandma wants to make a banoffee pie with you, with your help. I know you like the garden. You can go over the top of that hill, if you like, and meet me on the other side. Yeah, well, we're here next to Hamilton and Inch's antique shop, because we're going to do something else. We're going to the Natural History Museum, but just to put us in the mood, we've got this Natural History Museum of things made out of silver paper. There's a silver paper pig celebrating swine flu. There's an Angus cow down there celebrating beef burgers. There's a fox chasing a capercaillie into the air, which is extremely dramatic. Over here you've got two fighting Mad March hares. Those brown ones are made from Quality Street wrappers. The rest are made from, and the ducks, yes, they're made from aluminium foil that's been used for baking. So it's very, very nice. And look at these. Here we have a wasp, which makes jam. Bees make honey, wasps make jam. And a spider, I don't know what that makes. That makes silk, doesn't it, the spider? And there's other things. There's like something representing a bit of somebody's finger with a ring on it as well, made from amethyst. That's very nice. I love jewellery shops, me. Further down there is actually the restaurant just with the red canopy over there. There's actually Borscht and Tears. I went there once a long time ago with a group of people that I've been in Russia with. This is the map house with an interesting map here.
Picture map.
Yes, and also this area. this very area on an ancient map. On that side of the road there's all... Oh, very nice doggy, little tiny doggy. That's right, tiny doggy. So we're coming on to Exhibition Road in a second, which is where all these museums are. Sophie, you can't just stroke dogs. Okay, thank you for that. So, yes, you did right. She said she did ask. That's okay. She did ask. Because that's how people speak. This is near Sloane Square, so people say that's okay. She did ask. Which is a very lovely way to speak, isn't it? Roughly. Jules Verne. That's called. It's called. If you're looking from my American viewers, it's Beauchamp Place or Beauchamp Place, or even Beauchamp Place. But if you're from my UK viewers, you'll probably know that it's probably Beecham Place. But they may be one of the exceptions, and it may be something else. Yes, it's a nice tie, isn't it? Okay. Yep, that's a nice tie. It's an interesting way of wearing it as well, but I can't see it because of all the reflection. But I must remember to stuff my tie into my top pocket next time. So I can look fashionable. Yes, it's London. So if I'm not mistaken, where am I? I don't know. This must be near here. Yeah, that looks like we're on Exhibition Road going to the museums. Right, this is Emporio Armani. That's Giorgio Armani's brother. Somebody there was selling the big issue, but I don't personally buy it much. I'm more concerned about stopping myself getting homeless sometime. There we go. Ain't nobody gonna look after me when I get homeless. I'm gonna have a cardboard box. That's a nice way of wearing a tie as well, isn't it? Just remember to crinkle it like that inside of my collar. Oh dear. That's terrible. Right. On the way to the museums. So there's the entrance. There's what the British Museum of Natural History looks like from outside. What does it look like, Sophie?
Notre Dame.
Yes, it looks like Notre Dame Cathedral a little bit, doesn't it? Not exactly the same shape, but like big, and all the little stones on it had slightly different colours. It looks fantastic. We've got people using the space to have fun outside of it. It's all going to be lit up by those big lanterns at the end of the day. So it's not easy to get into it. You've got to queue up. There's a huge, great big queue to get into it. So we'll have to find the beginning of the queue, basically. So in short, the good news is that these things are free, these museums, but what goes hand in hand with that is the fact that they've got a cooling table, as I call it, because that's what they look like. Cooling tables look when you've got cans that have been heated up and need to be cooled down before the next process, tend to be joggled about on things that go backwards and forwards like this. So we've got a cooling table arrangement going on with a queue that all in all probably lasts about 200 metres, maybe more, and which seems to be going forward at about 20 metres a minute, so that's about a 10-minute queue. Probably looks worse than it is because it is moving, but of course with these things you never know whether they're going to kind of stop at any time and make you stand still for 5 minutes. That can happen. So in any event, they've got a system for everything as ever in this country. And one of the things about this is it's a little bit like the TARDIS. It looks big enough on the outside, but on the inside it's immensely big. However, the average visitor... Sophie, you have to do that. You're going to lose your shoe in a minute, and you're not behaving nicely to those birds. I know they're pests, but you don't have to do that to them. So you're too much into chasing pigeons, you are. And yeah, what I'm saying is that When I was a kid, when I was 14 years of age, I used to come here every week on a Thursday evening, and I was in, well, I say for 20 weeks I did, not every week, but for 20 weeks I was on a course illicitly. The course was run by the University of London. I was too young to be part of it because it's for further education. It was on ichthyology, which is that branch of theology that deals with fishes. And the people that run it were museum people for anybody who wanted to come along and learn more about their hobby. Lots of fish keepers, serious fish keepers, joined it. And I was also a serious fish keeper despite being 14 years of age. And when the University of London person saw that I was there, said, oh, you know, you can't come on this, you know, you're too young, you have to go home, you can't be part of it, you have to leave, please. I was rather upset, and it cost me a lot of money all my pocket money had been spent on coming down to it, and I wanted to join in, pay the money for the course, etc. It's not cheap either. And I'd got saved all my pennies together, begged and borrowed and possibly even stolen, I don't know, at that age, enough money to be on the course. And they said you can't be on it. As soon as the University of London person went, the gentlemen of the museum, who were of course genuine lovers of their subject, saw that, you know, that I'd been cut off in that way by the university person. They said, just wait till she goes, just wait here for a minute, don't worry. And then after the university person was gone, they invited me in again, and the upshot of it was that I didn't have to pay even for the course, and I came free for it. So and I saw all the part of it was looking behind the scenes in the museum, especially just in the ichthyology section. That's what we dealt with. But even that, the things you don't see, I suppose fish are something which not all that many people are desperately interested in, looking at fish in formaldehyde. But there's an awful lot more in there than people see who are visitors. Let me just put it that way. I've had a coelacanth in my hands, coelacanth eggs in a jar in my hands. I've had the Corydoras revelatus, the only Corydoras fossil in the world, in my hands. Other very interesting things are included in here that you never get to see because most people wouldn't be interested in them. But if you are interested, if you're a person with genuine interest, want to write an article or something like that, and you get an appointment with somebody who's a curator of that department, then you can come and see them too. With pleasure, they will show them to you. If you're somebody with an interest in these things, they're there for the British public, and not only the British public, but every visitor to this country to come freely and to take part. I'm sure that if you do spend time with the curators and they spend their time for you, that if you take them out for a beer or a meal, that would be appreciated. But you don't even have to do that, actually. So they're very kind people. But if you get the chance to take one out for a meal on me, then they certainly are overdue for it, because they did me so many favours when I was a kid and couldn't do them anything in return. So here we are in the entrance hall. There's the security over there. I don't want to dwell on that. That is security. This is the main entrance hall. This is your theory about the Brontosaurus, isn't it? Over there, that's the famous big skeleton. Is it a Brontosaurus or Diplodocus carnegie, winning its friends and influencing its people? Yes, it's a Diplodocus carnegie. How to win friends and win the first place in the British Museum. Then you've got other things over there like your Ankylosaurus. This is what I don't know what quite is wrong with its ankles, but how much of them are real though, and how much of them are actually reconstructed, is not always evident. That isn't actually, that's a ground sloth. That's not an Ankylosaurus, that's a sloth. That is actually a sloth, a ground sloth from South America. It could look like that if you put the...
It was a bad one.
Sorry? What are you doing? Well, no, I expect it looked after itself okay, but it eats vegetables, but it eats vegetables, it gets its 5 a day, but it's certainly need to look after itself. And it was so and there's a plesiosaur, you can please yourself. This one's called Ophthalmosaurus, which is eye lizard, because of the eyes like dinner plates it's got there. So let's have an explore around, really. Right, Sophie, take my hand, because we're going to have to explore around. I'm going to only film when I see something. There's lots of these interactive things as well. That even started when I was a kid, these interactive things. Sophie, look. Do you know who this granddaddy is here?
No.
That's Charlie Darwin. He's the guy that thought up this fairy tale of evolution, that men came out of monkeys. It's a bit of a silly, but never mind. They like him anyway. I can tell this film's going to be popular. Here we go. This one, Sophie. Richard Owen, the man who invented dinosaurs. And it's nice to know that they admit it. Okay, let's have a look in here. Trees. This is the tree gallery. Tremendous building, actually. So here we are in the bit where they talk about human beings being related, in their opinion, to monkeys. These are examples of the monkeys that we're supposed to be related to. There, these guys. And in amongst them is some denuded human being. Well, he's supposed to represent a human being. This Jennifer Lopez ancestor is called Proconsul, and it's supposed to be one of the first apes, even further away than gibbons, funky or otherwise. Soph? Yeah. That's a human skull. That's an orangutan. That's what they've got of a chimpanzee. And that's something called Civipithecus civilensis, which is supposed to show how we're all in the same family. This is Australopithecus. I think from Africa. Yeah, that's what they reckon that they look like. That'd be a nice centre shot, wouldn't it? Don't know if it will be though. So there's Lucy. It's only a cast. It's a cast of Lucy. Lucy is actually somewhere else. That's all there really is of Lucy. And from this they know, they can even work out what her name's supposed to have been. So what you actually have of habilis is not much. Most of them are reconstructed. What we've got are things like that, where the bits which are real and are not real, you can see which is which. So there's a lot of reconstruction goes on. But from this reconstruction, they let their imaginations go riot, and then they work out, in their opinion, scenes of their lives like this. Killing a antelope and
Like this,
making this, that and the other, and of course it's an awful lot of imagination goes into this. These are the tools that they found at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, that they think are about 1.8 million years old. They
Look, it's standing like this. One, it's
Yeah.
said to fruit salad with some Andean spines and small antelope. They killed antelope.
Okay, so what you've got here is you've got two skulls. You've got a modern human skull and you've got a Peking man skull called Homo erectus, Peking man there. Now, are you two by any chance related? They're shaking their heads, they're saying no. Actually, I'm doing it, it's part of the thing down there. These are the Neanderthals. These are where they found them. Sophie, come on, don't do that the whole time. That's a big Neanderthal skull. These are bits of them in early Britain. It's a British person, one of the earliest British people they know about. Whether he would find it easier to get a passport today, I don't know. He might not get through security. It was hard enough us getting through with Sophie there. She's enough of a monkey. Sophie, it's time to stop doing that now. So here we are. These are little bits of early humans. Most of these are actually casts. This is the sequoia, the giant sequoia exhibit, which shows from the rings how old it is, and even a massive tree like this was a seedling in the year 557. Yeah, I've seen a lot of human history. It was quite a small tree, even the time that the first English missionaries went to the continent, but it's seen most of human history it's been involved with. So there was the main hall there, and there's old Charlie Darwin sitting down that end presiding over events. This is at the birthstones here. It's got January at the top of the year. It's got February, which is supposed to be a garnet, but they've taken it away as usual. They don't have anything that's complete. February is amethyst. You've got more chance of making a complete one at home than they have in the museum. March, aquamarine. April is a diamond. May is emerald. That's why it's your stone and my stone, yes. Sophie. Emerald. June is pearl. July is ruby. August is peridot, whatever that is. September is a sapphire. Yeah. October is opal. November is topaz. And December is turquoise. That's what your grandma has, turquoise, so that many cultures traditionally associate gems with each month of the year or signs of the zodiac, which is not a very good thing. The choice of gems varies greatly, but the most popular selection today is shown here. The custom of wearing gems to signify a person's month of birth began in 18th century Poland, so it's a Polish tradition.
Open Jack Sparrow Queen style Australia.
Yes, that's right, it's a head made from opal, but when opal appears in nature it looks like that, which is already beautiful. You don't need to do much more with it. What one? Oh, that's really pretty. You like that best? I can understand why as well. Opal fruits made to make your mouth water. Right. So this is the rocks part of the museum. So it'll rock your world. You may not be able to see any fossil fishes, but the walls are decorated with them everywhere. This is molten rocks, minerals, sulfur and metals and things. Minerals in the making, and decorative stones and other things. Now if you look at this piece, you'd think for all the world it was done by human hand. Yeah? Looks like a landscape with trees along it, done with a field with maybe a river going down it and all that. All of that is not done by human hand. It's actually retic limestone just dug out of the land in Cotton, Bristol. Just a piece of limestone. That one's called Blue John, purple banded fluorite. Somehow, they look like almost art had made them. Well, it is art. It's a signature of a being who made them. It's a signature of God, really. And human beings can't even get close. Now, this is a question of how hard minerals are, how much they're able to withstand scratching or whatever, or scratch other things. So you've got obviously the diamonds at the top of the scale with corundum, topaz, quartz. Also clays can be scraped with a penknife. Calcite can be scraped with a fingernail. Talc can be rubbed off with the finger. Whereas diamonds you use to cut just about anything else, and nothing else will cut it.
What about this?
That was the Knop scale, and then we also have a guy called Mose who's made his test with a scratch test, and on the ruby you've got ruby is 9 on the Mose scale, then sapphire, chrysoberyl, zircon, beryl, garnet. Finally got at least there's one in this set. Quartz and peridot are on decreasing levels of hardness on the Mohs scale. So we've got 2 scales, the Knoop scale and the Mohs scale for the hardness of minerals. Amazing how they form, isn't it? The shapes they make. This is diamonds, whacking great big diamonds. Now, as you can imagine, they're not going with so little security to leave real diamonds here. Okay, these are plastic replicas of what diamonds can look like. That's a glass model, for example, of the Cullinan diamond, which was 3,606 carats, but is somewhere else. And it just goes on and on. Well, Sophie's asking me to photograph all the minerals that she likes, and one of them that's caught her eye is cinnolite. The problem is if I use the standard camera, the lens, the flash comes back in the lens, but it's difficult to get the actual colour that you'd see with your eye there. It's a kind of, it's almost like a sweetie actually. It's like a cough sweet. That cinnolite. You like that as well, do you? That's a piece of calcite. A more interesting piece back there, and another very interesting piece here. It's a carbonate. It's calcite, there we go. Okay, let's save it for the animals, eh? That one's interesting, called Desert Rose. There are other ones, another example of desert road, it's just a sulphate, but it looks like it's almost leaves or petals of a flower. Other very interesting colours coming up on the sulphate area. It's got a big red one. But over here is also an interesting thing called tungstates and molybdates. Yeah, it's a nice colour on that one. I'm not sure that it's coming out on the film though, that's the problem. Oh, I nearly fell through the floor there. Meteorites. Meteorite here in the morning. These are bits of real meteorites being placed here in the museum. And isn't that interesting to see what interesting facades there have appeared on the inside of meteorites? Looks like a lump of iron. It's polished and etched slice of Laguna Manantiales from an iron meteorite, showing a Widmanstetten pattern. You can have that on your wall actually. You can have your whole wall painted like that. So these are all pieces of real meteorites. You don't want that falling on your head. While we're still on the rocks area, one of the reasons for coming to the rocks area is there's less people than there are. You had to queue for another 30 minutes to go to Dinosaurs, the big dinosaur exhibit, even though you can see some of the being. There's actually a piece of Mars rock. And you've got other things which are, that's a big golden nugget. These ones are under special security arrangements, so you've actually got real pieces of gold here. That's the best example of crystallized gold known. It's the biggest piece of Alexandrite named after the Tsar of Russia, discovered in the Urals. That's called the Devonshire Emerald. It's actually from Brazil, but it's called the Devonshire Emerald because it was given as a present to the 6th Duke of Devonshire, or rather he bought it. So, reading while I'm talking. And this brilliant piece is called the Star of South Africa. It's a 47.69 carat diamond from Sandfontein Farm in South Africa. Discovered in 1869.
Stay here. Stay.
They're naturally coloured diamonds, this collection of them.
Stay. Stay.
What do you want so much
You
about
look.
them?
Stay, and you see.
Oh, how they change colour in different lights. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Mind you, it's playing merry havoc with the film though. The different frequencies of light are changing the colours, but it doesn't show up well on a video. It's just strobing. That's remarkable though, actually. If anybody's interested in geology, they should come here. This is what people have made from the jewellery, but that's probably a little bit less interesting. So this is that famous hall here where you've got the whale skeletons, and underneath the whole whale, the blue whale model. And you've got the biggest things here, the giraffe, the tallest, the elephant, the rhinoceros. And they can't just let you enjoy the fact that we've got elephants in the world. You have to say that millions of years ago there were many more animals in this group, such as the woolly mammoths that live in the frozen wastes of southern Britain. As if, you know, elephants are the only proboscideans alive today. There were many others like mammoths. Well, recently it's been discovered that mammoths are actually genetically much more close to elephants and could be, basically they are a type of elephant. So, you know, so I don't know what they're talking about really. And, you know, why it is to make people sad that we ought to be having an awful lot more tines of this and yet we don't have them. You know, so there used to be a whole load and now there aren't. So it seems to me a little bit nonsense and irrelevant. Arsinotherium, it's like a big rhinoceros-like thing. Okay. So there we have it. So people have seen, that's the top of the MI5 building by the way. I don't want to get close up to it because I don't want to breach anybody's security, least of all our nation, which is much maligned by all. And I'll focus maybe on that instead. And the lovely old Father Thames down there, he came out of the museum and had to go back to the passport office. What does your tongue look like, young lady? It's all blue. Can you put your tongue out for the camera? It's gone completely blue. Why has it gone blue? Why have you got a blue tongue? Powerade. Blue Powerade. It's toxic. You can't look and film yourself at once. That's silly. I'll show you when I finish. Anyway, I want to talk to the camera for a second. I want to say that every day of your life, you'll discover that there are tests for you. Some days more tests than others. And every day there are some rewards, there are some things to enjoy. There are some things that are going to test you that you're not going to enjoy necessarily very much. Some of the tests might be a little bit more enjoyable than others. Some of them might call for more discipline than others. Some might call for more thinking than others. But every day you've got some tests with reward, some tests that even if you get them right, all the reward will be another test. Some rewards you'll get from successfully passing the test, and some rewards you'll have which you completely don't deserve at all. But life is a mixture, not easily to understand. There's a certain amount of pleasure and a certain amount of pain that everybody has to endure. The amount which is written for them and that God knows is right for them. And what they don't have in this life, they have in eternity anyway. And if you close your life off by an act of violence against yourself and usher yourself into eternity before God naturally calls you there by something outside of your control. If you die despite doing whatever you can to avoid dying, then that means that that's the time when God meant for you to die. But if you try and usher that along, if you try and speed that up in any way, well then all of those blessings that could still be there in the remaining days of your life on earth, they're gone. I don't think God is going to recreate them for you in eternity. There'll be other things for you in eternity, but those things that there would have been for you, that you never know what would be around the corner, that's gone. So you just have to take each day at a time, enjoy, then be thankful for the blessings of each day, and deal with the trials and the tests of each day with some style and with faith. And that's all that you can do. That's you know, you have to show love, you have to be a loving person if you can. That doesn't mean to say put up with nonsense, Sophie James, but if you can manage to be a loving person, then it's good if you can be. And to be a disciple of Jesus Christ, that's what you should try and be. If so be you're a believer. If not, then well, if you have no faith, then you know you must really, when you sit and think, if you've got no faith and you sit and think about what this life's all about, you probably don't, you know, it's probably bewildering for you. Absolutely bewildering sometimes. But if you understand Jesus Christ as the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end of it all, Jesus Christ both the test and the reward, then there's a reason. All right?
Be happy.
Oh yes, be happy. Let's go back and get our passport, your passport.
No.
Okay?
Volcano.
What?
Volcano.
I don't understand what that is.
You remember? I was like, oh, Daddy, volcano.
Oh, the fountain. You wanted to go back to that garden, did you?
Yes, sure.
You want to go and see the fountain? All right, then your wish shall be fulfilled. Go and see the fountain. So there we are then. I don't know, Bessborough Gardens or something like that. Should sit more modestly. And I suppose after putting your hand in that very green water, you'll be rubbing your eye with it in a minute, will you? Yes. Do you know why the water is green?
Why?
Because it has algae in it. Little monocellular or unicellular plants. Nice gardens. Shall I push you in just to let you cool off a bit? That'd be a good film, wouldn't it? So, having been in the UK for a bit, just be with my daughter and parents, I'm now back in this amazing shopper's paradise known as Heathrow Airport Terminal 1, and having used up all but 12p of my English coins in that bookshop over there, I'm now going to get rid of the rest of my English money because I'm not going back for a while, and what's the point in having these 12p? So here we are. They say when you give to charity you don't get anything back, but this time I'm going to make sure that I bleed it for all it's worth and get a nice interesting film of this penny, of this 2p, going round this amazing contraption, which means people at least get some interesting entertainment out of their money. And I've seen fairground things ask for more money for less entertainment, so it's actually quite a good deal. There's the 10p. Very good. Worth every penny, I say. I don't know what charities it's going for. Oh yes, I do. Spelthorne Farm and Thames Valley Hospice, White Lodge. So there we are. Quite a few other nice things. hopefully nice things, and better that than just making a hole in your pocket. This is the most new idea. It's called Novel Idea. It's where you buy a book out of a vending machine. Needless to say, Hannah Montana, Internet Casinos and Poker Rooms, a couple of kiddies books, Sudoku, Poker Talk, How to Talk Poker Like a Pro, Code Words and Crosswords, and then you've got some Pulp Fiction. And then you've got some more Pulp Fiction. And then just for a change, you've got some more Pulp Fiction. So what I'd actually describe as a novel, or any other kind of literature for that matter, just simply isn't in this. I wish that they would actually have just one position, even if it was just one position in this machine, which was something from the classics, something more than 200 years old, something which has actually stood the test of time. Just one position. You could change it out of it, but at least have something there. Please.